Let me just say, what you're about to watch is some of the most terrifying footage you'll ever watch on YouTube, period. Is someone... What the... Oh, okay. Ah! Oh! Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh my God, 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 oh my God. Fuck this. I'm done. Guys, take a look at what happened last night. I'm out of here.
What up, home slices, home fries, and homes of other varieties? I've had some people ask me to do a reaction on Jasko because it's been a while, hasn't it? So that's what I have for you today. And it's his video called The Night We Quit, scariest video ever filmed, demon caught on camera. Now, quick disclaimer. Because I kept getting attacked by the nasty spirits at this location, which is Indiana State Sanatorium, I did not watch the entire video, okay? So just want to preface that. Usually if I get attacked and it's consistent and it just keeps happening, even if I do my blocks, right, take a break and then go back and I get attacked again, I can't keep doing it, can't do it to myself, can't do it to my health. But I was able to channel a lot of information of the location itself. So we're going to jump into this. Also, I noticed too in these videos, he now has like an entertainment disclaimer. So, I mean, it's kind of obvious that even before that, there were some dramatizations that he's got going on. And that could just be like his reactions and potentially some of his evidence. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some evidence things that kind of were like enhanced or dramatized a bit. So I just want to put that there. But also too, like some of the other videos I was watching, like his newer ones, there was a lot of that. And I know the debunkers have been going wild with some of these creators, and rightfully so. They are entitled to their opinions, and I'm all about finding the truth. And if someone is faking evidence, they should be called out for it. But I like that Jasko has his entertainment disclaimer because, you know, he's very upfront about it. And I will also say that he is very good at what he does and is a very huge reason like people like and watch his content. Personally, these types of investigations are not for me, like his channel in general, just because it is a little bit over the top in the reactions. And if I react to creators that are known for faking content, that's going to put my credibility into question. And so that's why I kind of like took a step back a little bit with some of these creators and reactions, because some of them be faking their entire videos. And yeah, I don't need that on my shoulders. So I made sure when I picked a video of his, it was of a location that was absolutely haunted without a doubt, whether or not some evidence was faked or dramatized for that scary effect. So that's why I picked this video. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? You can have both fakery and real paranormal phenomena. It just gets difficult sometimes to pick everything apart, especially when you don't have consistent validation and or those being truthful about their content. So for this video, instead of pointing out everything that is fake, I'll point out what I see in this location. But I can tell you right now, just by, I don't even know, the first 10 seconds and then some of the meditation I did, there are a lot of earthbound spirits there. Like, I feel like that's the most I've ever seen in one location. like way more than Gettysburg, which is weird because Gettysburg is like a battlefield. But like in terms of like the heaviness and like how solid the energy is, this place like takes the cake. And another thing with these guys, these spirits, a lot of them, hence the thumbnail, a lot of them be rolling their eyes at Jasko and his team because of the over top like reactions. And that's because they feel like they're being made a mockery of. And they don't like that. And that can be seen as rude and disrespectful. So I would say if you're a paranormal investigator doing these types of videos for YouTube or whatever socials you got, just be mindful of the spirits there, because some of them see that as disrespectful when you're just like, oh my god, ah! Yeah, especially when you just have some that are just doing their spirit thing and just hanging around and just, you know, minding their own business. They don't like when people come in there screaming their head off and just kind of like stirring up the energies in general, especially when you already have negative things. It stirs it up even more. No, don't get me wrong. I do feel like he had some like jump scare moments because that place is active. But oh my god, that's unnecessary. But again, you know, people like that about his content. That's why he's got so many more subscribers than I do, and so many more subscribers than I would say the vast majority of those on YouTube. So, you know, to each their own. It's just content not for me. Now, depending on if there's music tracks in the background of his video clips that I will be taking and inserting in the video, will determine whether or not I add the volume to those clips. Because again, I had been getting copyrighted on some clips, and it's not even the owners putting in those claims. It's just third parties from other countries thinking that they can steal other people's content and make a buck off of it. So depending on how this goes, I may or may not have to take the volume off for just the clips. My reactions will be normal. Aside from that, I do think Jasko has some energy sensitivities, so I'm sure he can feel certain types of energies, which does make him a bit uneasy and jump, like I was saying before. I think I may have, I covered him a long time ago. It feels like a long time ago, maybe like a year or two ago, about him and his attachment situation and some of his potential abilities and stuff like that. So definitely go watch that. It'll be in the cards up above. But now getting into Indiana State Sanatorium. The first thing that I saw was this giant bug-like creeper thing that has like a long like body, kind of like an insect would have, but instead of having 6 legs, this thing had 8 legs. So, ew. And it skitters around, and it has pretty much the entire building for it to roam around. So, it is there. It feeds off of the negative energy, of the residual energy, some of the spirits that are left behind, some of the actions as a result. So for example, if a negative spirit is scratching somebody, that negative energy produced as a byproduct, it'll feed off of that. So yeah, in terms of like people, yeah, it could take some energy from the visitors there, but it's not very interactive with the public than like some of the other earthies that are there. Because there were so many earthies there, I will say I didn't pick up any like demonic stuff. Doesn't mean that there's not any other non-human things, but as far as demonic things, I didn't see anything demonic. But again, there were so many earthies. Like, I know the spirit box said like 60 a few times for them, or whatever thing they were using, the necrophonic app, I wouldn't be surprised. There could be even more, just based off of all the things I saw. So, and then the fact that he said at the beginning of the video around 4:05, right? He said Jake and Chris had to leave.
It's the morning after our night here at Indiana State Sanatorium. I actually am here alone because what Chris experienced last night, what we experienced, was so f***ed up. Chris said he doesn't want to come back here, and I left my damn voice recorder in the nurse's station. So I figured if I'm going to come get it, I'm going to get it while it's still bright out, because, you know, ghosts are sleeping during the daytime, right, guys? So, yeah. Oh, what was that? Okay, guys, this place is so freaky even during the daytime. So let me start explaining what happened last night, right? So as you heard in the intro, we split up. Chris went into the admin building. I went in the nurse's station. Sorry, my whole mind's a blur. And Jake went into the 5-story. I made it 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Chris made it not even 10 minutes. So it was just like, okay, I think there's someone in that room right there. This one to the left. Not this one, this one. You see how there's a shadow right there? Like it looked like something like went by. Well, let me tell you something. I ran screaming for my life. Chris ran screaming for his life. Jake ran freaking the hell out. I will say Jake did pretty well. You'll see all that very soon. All things considered, but... Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you guys, this place doesn't get easier, even during the daytime.
That doesn't surprise me, because I myself was getting attacked, and I wasn't even on the location. I was just tapping in. I just kept getting scratch after scratch after scratch. Now, obviously, it didn't leave any marks on my body, but I can feel it. Like, it felt like getting scratched by a cat over and over and over again, and it was getting very irritating. So, the fact that they were there in person, they probably had it much worse. Now, like I said before at the beginning, I didn't get to watch the entire video because I had to stop because of the attacks I was getting. So, let me know if in there they talk about getting scratched, because, yeah, that's bananas. That's crazy. So we have combination of that bug entity. Now, I kept seeing that. I wouldn't be surprised if there were more than one of those bug-looking entities. A lot of earthies, a lot of residual energies. I will say, the more fear you project, the more you feed the spirits and entities and can make them provide more paranormal activity, because they know it can get a reaction out of you, and it's an ongoing cycle. At 8:15, Jasko is talking in the car, and he says how Jake goes to Indiana State Sanatorium alone a lot. That's not good.
He's a ghost hunter, and he loves this stuff. He goes alone a lot, and really pushes it to the test.
He's insane like us.
So I kind of wanted to showcase that at one of the scariest, in my opinion, the scariest location on the planet, Indiana State Sanatorium. Now, I was gonna send him in here in the admin building, but I was like, you know what, Chris? Why don't we send him into the 5-story? Thoughts?
I think that's a great idea.
It's like the initiation protocol,
It
yeah?
is.
Yeah, dude, this is...
Hey, you said you wanted
not
to
good.
film with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right.
you signed up for this.
All right, let's send it,
Was
boys.
that a mistake?
That is a big no-no. Never go to a haunted location by yourself. Period. Not even just for physical safety, but for spiritual safety. Especially when you have these older buildings. Who knows if, like, the floor is stable, or, I don't know, you could fall through the floor and then you're there by yourself, and guess what? You're fucked. Unless, you know, you can get to a phone to call for help. But sometimes, you know, really bad accidents can happen and you don't have that option. And that's just one example. Another example is, what if someone else is there and you're by yourself and they don't have the best intentions? Maybe they could rob you. Maybe they can do something else. It's never safe to go alone. And then, of course, the spiritual aspect of you can get attacked. It can drop you to the floor and you could need medical attention. You can use Ed Warren for an example. One of his cases triggered a heart attack. You never know what could happen, and it's terrible, terrible to go by yourself. So at this point, I skipped to 25 minutes. I was getting head pains. I'm feeling nauseous. Again, this is when the scratches started to happen more frequently. So I got scratched on my thigh and on my arms. Because I'm too clairsentient, there's no way in hell I would be able to go there in person. Now, obviously, I'm not afraid of the paranormal or any of that stuff at all. But I'm not stupid. If I know that I'm clairsentient and I'm very sensitive to certain types of energies and how, like, it reacts with my body, why would I put myself in danger? So this is a place where, as much as I would really love to go in person, it would just be stupid to do so. And that can go for anyone of clairsentience. Like, if that is like your major skill and you feel it through your body like I do, perhaps don't go to this location. And then I did start seeing a provocative female earthy with long dark hair that goes down to her waist. She was just doing like really like sexual like dances and things. I was just like, girl, what's going on here? And this place is heavy and zaps you of energy and can leave visitors with hangover type feelings. Like I said, I tapped in, had to take multiple breaks, and another reason why I had to take multiple breaks was because I kept getting zapped where I had to take naps. And I was just like, yo, I can't keep doing this.
There's a lot of paychecks and stuff on the floor. I'm going to come upstairs in a minute, but as long as you promise not to touch me, harm me, or do anything, you can't follow me home. That sound good? Whoa. I'm hearing stuff everywhere, behind me and above me, in the front room over here.
I really like that he set his boundaries on video because not many people remember to do this while they investigate. Now, you can do it out loud, you can do it in your thoughts, but you have to set your boundaries when you're in these types of locations because you don't want things to follow you home, to attach to you, or to attack you. So yes, always set your boundaries in these types of locations. I did also start seeing a man with bushy, wavy brown hair that comes up just above the shoulders and thick, black framed glasses, pale skin, like stubble around his face. He was wearing a shirt with a V-neck with pants that were of the same color. Now, it was hard to determine what color it was because it was very unsaturated in terms of color. It wasn't like a gray scale or anything. It was just a notch above that. So it was hard to determine the color, but it wasn't black and white. Now, I will show you the picture of this man. Sorry, it's a quick little drawing. It's not the best. Oh, and I did hear the name Benjamin. I'm terrible with names, so I was surprised that I was getting a lot of clairaudient hits, especially because clairaudience isn't my strongest clair. I was seeing what looked like men hanging from a wooden beam, almost gallows styled, and heard clairaudiently they denied it. So I don't know if people, well, they do say it in the video that people committed unaliving of themselves. And maybe there was so many of them, people started to question, like, aren't you guys watching the patients? What's going on? And then maybe they denied it, or they set them up to do that, or murdered them. I don't know. Again, don't have validation on that, but we do know there was a lot of unaliving there of people doing it to themselves. So maybe that's just a symbol of saying, like, there were just so many that did that to themselves. That wouldn't surprise me. Some of the workers, oh, yeah, that's right. Some of the workers liked when people died, whether it was from murders, unaliving themselves, etc., because there were just too many people that they didn't know how to handle, so they didn't really care what happened, which was sad. That's what one of the spirits said. I'm pretty sure it was the guy with the bushy brown hair that told me that. Then I heard sun, burial, drown, and it was funny because it's not funny in terms of haha, but like more of ironic. But during my little naps to get my energy back up, I had a dream that I couldn't breathe. Like I was choking on like liquid in my lungs. Not like I was being drowned in a lake or a bathtub or whatever, but like I was sick. Almost like I had a cold, but 10 times worse, and I was just drowning in phlegm, and it was gross. So when I hear drown, I'm thinking of tuberculosis. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a lot of death surrounding that illness. I was getting center right back pain. It feels like I was kicked or hit in the back by something hard with a dull edge or something that protrudes, that isn't flat. So anything that was like rounded or whatever. So people, it feels like allegedly, people were beat or got into fights or knocked around a lot to where it was causing injuries. I kept seeing so many faces that I couldn't like get enough detail to draw, but I did draw some more. I did see this female with like short blunt bangs and like a short like bob haircut. Her eyes were slanted and she had short brown hair. And then again I was scratched on the arm. And here's the picture of the girl. I don't know how old she would have been, but I don't know. I don't know. She looked pretty young. So here at 3109 to 3116, the Necrophonic or whatever spirit box app they're using says video feedback.
Whoa, what the fuck was that? Hello?
Video feedback.
Wait, what? It says video feedback. What does that mean?
This immediately just was like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of paranormal evidence that they caught on camera that they don't even realize they caught on camera. So if I were them and they watched this video, rewind your video and play it on slow mode. And you might catch some more things. Then I skipped to around 42 minutes. I don't know what kind of recorder he's using, but bro needs a better recorder.
Figure that I saw down there wants to communicate. Spirit, speak into this recorder. Who's down here with me or who's up here with me? Speak into this recorder, please. Or can you make a loud sound, please? Okay, guys, let's see if we got a voice. I waited long enough.
This is this recorder. Who's down here with me or who's up here with me?
What did that just say?
This is this recorder. Who's down here with me or who's up here with me?
It says, I am. It goes, I am.
This is this recorder. Who's down here with me or who's up here with me? This is this recorder.
There was another voice at the end, but I have no idea what it said. Dude, what time is it, dude? I don't want to be in here anymore.
Sorry if that's a little blunt, but it's so hard to hear the recording play back. Like, how can you determine whether or not it's like interference from the equipment itself or actual paranormal phenomena? Maybe he's really good at knowing the difference because he's used that so many times, but if I were you, I would update your equipment a little bit. You can get a nice voice recorder on Amazon real cheap. But that one, that's just going to make things more confusing. And yeah, I mean, you can even use your phone if you want, but obviously that takes up space on your phone, which is a pain in the butt. But yeah, I would upgrade your voice recorder, my guy. But I think regardless of the quality of his recorder, it did pick up stuff. The fact that I'm hearing things clairaudiently and that being my worst clairability, and it's happening very often, he's probably got some good evidence in the past for sure, and even potentially on that recorder and cameras. Obviously, bitterness popped up 45 minutes in, 10 seconds.
Bitterness.
Okay, maybe it wasn't shut because I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know, dude. All I know is I don't want to be here. Bitterness?
Yeah, I'd be bitter too if I died there. For sure. Now, at 45:36, that's when they start going to the 5th floor.
I don't want to go to the 5th floor, dude. This is the worst floor where they would house violent men up here. This is the worst floor.
Star.
Star? What is moving up there? What is moving? Hello? Make a sound if you're in there. I just want to talk. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Speak at this moment.
I just heard something moving outside or upstairs. Dude. Nothing's out there. Nothing's out there, dude. What the fuck was that? There it was again. Hello? Guys, something is dead ass moving around me right now, either outside or upstairs. I cannot tell, but something is in here moving. Make yourself known, please. Slam a door, do something crazy. God, I have to go up there. There's not somebody in here, is there? That was more movement, dude. Yo, something's moving, dude. Hello?
Path.
Path? Dude, I swear to God, I just saw a shadow right there. It was right beside the door. Lilith, that's a demon. That's a demon name. Who did I just see? Was it Lilith? Something just moved in there. Why is there a singular chair, dude? I'm freaking out.
And that's when I see the violent man that's responsible for all the scratching and the nastiness. And he's at the top of those stairs as he's coming up. He's about to charge that dude. And I'm just like, this spirit, he looks like a combination of Scrooge and Rick from Rick and Morty. Here's my little drawing. He's nasty. He is a nasty mofo, okay? This dude, he don't know boundaries. So, you're doing anything he don't like, he's going to be like, yo, I'm here, and just like either scratch you, hurt you in some other way, provide activity. Like, he's there, he's mean, he's a fighting machine. Like, yeah, that guy is not nice. And he's probably from the one of the violent rooms or whatever. I know the 5th floor was like the violent patients. I think he might have been one of them, based off of how he's reacting as a spirit. And he's up there. Yeah, no, he no good. He no good. Very descended. Yeah. And the closer I kept getting to him to see and like analyze and do all that stuff, the angry he got and the more he would scratch me. So, yeah. And this dude, I wouldn't be surprised if he went home with somebody as an attachment, because he's that nasty. Then I saw this emaciated older man with pointed ears. Just because he has pointed ears doesn't mean he's demonic. Sometimes when you become so descended, and or just stuck on the astral realm for so long as an earthy, I mean, you could become emaciated, and some of your physical characteristics could change based on the vibration in which that spirit or entity carries. So this guy looks so emaciated. The bug thing, definitely feeding on this dude. I'm surprised that the older man, the angry guy, the bug guy don't really feed off of. Actually, it kind of feels like they work together, whether they're doing that on purpose or not. They kind of feel like they have like this, I can't think of the word, but it's kind of like they have this code of angry guy does bad behaviors, which creates that negative energy for that thing to feed off of as well. He helps create the food for that thing. But like I said, I don't know if it's intentional or not. It just happens to work that way. Then I fell asleep again, and I had a dream of a black, I want to say it was a Rottweiler, biting me on the arm, like clonk. I don't know if they've had dogs there in the past, or if it's something they let people or visitors bring now. But the paranormal activity caused this dog to bite somebody. And yeah. So I don't know how you would prove that, but yeah, that was so vivid. That's why I'm like confident it happened. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be very hard to prove.
That was more movement, dude. Yo, something's moving, dude. Hello? Path? Dude, I swear to God, I just saw a shadow right there. It was right beside the door. Lilith, that's a demon. That's a demon name. Who did I just see? Was it Lilith?
I promise you, that was not Lilith. Actually, it was Mr. Grumpy Pants fucking with you to get that type of response from you, so it could feed off your energy. So, sorry. Not Lilith. But that's as far as I got in terms of like channeling information and stuff like that. I hope I answered somebody's questions. I hope Jasko sees this and doesn't take it personally as me attacking him or anything, or the people he was there with. I just want to again say, be careful. Be careful on how you react in these types of situations. Never go alone to these types of locations, regardless of whether or not it gives you really good content. Your safety should take priority. And if you're finding yourself in more dangerous situations because you're putting yourself in these situations for content, you need to reevaluate yourself. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. And I will see you all soon. Okidoke. Peace out. Spirit fingers.